Hey, we're at another end of day wrap up here at the European SharePoint Office 365 and Azure conference in Prague. And I've got a crew here of the other community reporters. And my name is Christian Buckley with Collab Talk out of the US. And who am I sitting with?
Dobrý den, my name is Dax with AppPoint.
My name is Nicole Enders from Conet.
And I'm Magnus Martinsson from Loftysoft. How you doing?
I see what you did there.
Hi.
You do the branding cover there, so I know. Oh, we're not supposed to talk about that?
No.
Well, let's talk about like the day, like what
Yes.
happened over the course of the day. So we had the keynotes. We had, of course, Jeff Teeper keynote. We had an Azure keynote, and at the same time, we had Caruana talking about Microsoft Teams. And then in the evening, we had the Scott Hanselman keynotes. So what kind of stood out for the day for each of you?
So for me, I watched Scott's keynote in the end. I thought it was really a good walkthrough of history of how the cloud came about, but also a lot of poignant learnings through the ages. So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed Scott's keynote too, but I was really looking forward for Jeff's keynote this morning because I wasn't at Ignite, so I wanted to see it live. And my highlight is Project Cortex.
Got it.
So I was attending one session there as well.
What was your favorite part about Project Cortex?
I like the idea that you have this AI-based knowledge management, so you don't need to do something else. We had so many projects in the past with our customers where we were talking about, oh, you need content types, you need metadata, and every time you had the issue, when does anybody edit the metadata? Where does it come from?
And one of the things, just quickly with Project Cortex, I'm sure, Christian, you saw it too, is it makes SharePoint much more relevant now, right? Like, I was thinking at one point, like, content types, taxonomy, term store, do we still need that? But thanks to Project Cortex, it makes it much more useful.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I was just going to point out, if you've not been watching the other live stream, so I actually got to interview Naomi Moneypenny earlier today, talking about Project Cortex and going into some of the background, the detail around that. But yeah, no, I think it's very exciting because, as we've always talked about, and we've been in the SharePoint space for many years, talking about it's not about what you've collected all this information and you're searching for it, but you want to be able to find it. And now in the intelligent search, it's always been the issue of, it's not about searching, it's about finding. And so I love this way. It's just yet another way to surface all of that knowledge, all those information assets in an organization. It's very cool.
Magnus, how about you?
Oh yeah, well, so I'm the Azure guy in the room, and therefore, I'm going to swivel this over to Azure because you know what they built Cortex on top of? Yeah, you guessed it, right? So you kind of need Azure to build anything these days, and so my takeaway from the Azure keynote is like this wall-to-wall, like cavalcade, this craziness of here's this great thing that we're doing, and here's this other great thing that we're doing, and oh, by the way, we're also doing this great thing. It's just all-consuming, overwhelming whenever there's an Azure keynote at any large-scale event. It just becomes completely crazy. There is no person in the world that can keep up with all of these things that are happening, but we do our very best, and we kind of look like we know what we're talking about.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yes,
Yeah.
a little bit. So the keynote for Azure was filled wall-to-wall, crazy new things. Oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, and I really enjoy it.
And Teeper also covered some of that, just talking about the numbers shared, like the rate of growth of Azure. I mean, Microsoft Cloud has just exploded onto the scene over the last like 4 or 5 years.
It has. So now that we have, for Microsoft Azure public data centers, like 54 of them, which is bonkers. Imagine the number of dollars that went into building all of that concrete and all of that metal and putting all of those networks together. It's a lot of stuff. And what that turns into is a massive opportunity for an individual, right? So a person who is investing now heavily in Azure learning and training and getting to know Azure will have a lot to do in the decade to come because, all Azure.
Well, one thing that Scott said that was really true is, look, there's no better time than to start a company today. Yeah. Imagine if you're a startup and you build your infrastructure in the cloud and it's scalable, all the services are there, you don't have to worry about buying servers, deploying VMs, and you can focus on your core business. And I think that's what the cloud can truly empower people to do. So one thing around today though, I mean, the sessions were great. I saw a lot of sessions were well attended. What about the conference itself? Anything that stood out for all of you? I know everyone goes to a lot of conferences, but anything that stood out this week or this past couple of days?
I was really impressed as I arrived this morning. So it was so well organized. I got my badge. I could go here on this floor, visit the expo and so on. I think some were early arriving at this moment, but every time when you have a question, you can ask somebody.
Right.
Everybody helps you. It's so well organized.
Definitely well put. We're sitting now, you guys can't see this on the live stream, but we're sitting in this little glass booth thing, right on the middle. So what?
The fishbowl.
The fish bowl.
Or the
Sitting,
fish.
we're in the fish in the bowl. And we're sitting here in the fish bowl, and there's like all people around us having, drinks and things and talking, and there's this expo area with all the vendors and all the people that are here. We're having a lot of fun here, and you can't see it now because it's evening time. It's dark outside, right? But this backdrop, it is astounding. Prague is a beautiful city, and we have, I don't know how tall these glass windows are. They're really, really tall, and you can see all of Prague, all the beautiful parts of the city right outside the windows. And the venue is great. It's a maze, but as you said, we got people showing us around, so that helps. But the fact that these people organized this event so well, it is a treat to be at a good organized event.
How about you, Christian? What stood out for you?
Well, one thing I was just going to say is that what's great about this event, so this is the 8th ESPC event, and I've been at every single one of these. It's great to see kind of the evolution, the growth, certainly the size of the crowd, but and also just some of the things that they've added in. But it's very interactive. People aren't shy about asking questions, sparking conversations, and that's great because I go to a lot of events, which we all do, and some where it's quiet. You present to a room, and they are polite and applause, and then no real questions afterwards. So it's great to have those interactions because whether you're watching the live stream and watching online, or you're here physically and you want to follow up with the speakers, everybody is approachable, everybody is reachable. I think that's something that they actually look for in the speakers. It's not just come and be an expert, speak on this topic, but they want people that will participate in the community aspect of that.
Sure. So we are on day one. Well, almost day one. Day 0 was the workshop day.
Right.
And there was a lot of people, there were so many people in the workshops. Oh my goodness.
There's over 1,000 people, I believe,
doing
in the workshops.
And I don't know how many, like 10 parallel or crazy?
I think there was 11.
11 parallel workshops.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And so people were learning all Monday in
realized
like
that. Yeah, they turned it up to 11. They could have had 10.
They turned it up to 11?
They turned it up to 11.
Is that like a thing now?
Wow.
We turned it up to 11? Wow. Okay, cool. So they turned it up to 11. 11 is the new 10.
Yeah.
And so day one, though, we are still on day one, right? There is more days to, of this conference.
2 more.
Yeah, right?
2 more days.
And so what's going to happen next? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
Shameless plug. I have a session tomorrow. I was going to say, one thing that I really like about this event is, sure, there's a lot of great tech sessions, a lot of people, but I think they started last year putting a more focus on things outside of tech. Diversity, inclusion, humans in IT. So along that lines, I have a session tomorrow on how you can improve your public speaking skills, which a lot of us need.
Are you plugging your session? Come on, man.
Of course. Tune in 11:45, and I'll walk you through tips and tricks on how to be a rock star presenter.
I'm so sorry, but I wanted to attend your session, so I have to promote you. But I'm also looking forward to some more team sessions, and we have the keynote of Weser on Thursday, so I'm looking forward for this too, because I'm a developer and I want to know what's going on with SPFX and co. But I also think there's so much time to do networking, to meet other people, so we have 2 days left.
Yeah. And
we got to pace ourselves. It's 2 days left, 2 days to go.
Well,
but,
And plus there will be dozens more interviews happening, live streams and recorded interviews. So there'll be content that's coming out to the live streams that you see now, as well as interviews that will be over the next couple of weeks. So a lot that's happening.
And officially we're turned up to 11.
We are turned up to 11. Yeah. But let's round it out with, on Thursday, my session. So actually, I'm doing a panel discussion around what does it mean to build a hub for your organization. So we're going to be talking a lot about Microsoft Teams and everything else, because it's not just about Teams. It's not about a single product or a single workload and everything else that's involved with that. So I think it's going to be a great discussion. I know. It'll be exciting.
So wait, before we wrap up, we have to at least teach people a word in Czech, right? Because we're in Prague. We're in Prague, right? So maybe we should teach them how to say cheers.
How do you say cheers in Czech?
Na zdroví.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is that true?
It's true.
Wow.
I'm not making it up. So with that, what? Let's cheers
do
to
it.
this.
Let's, yeah.
Cheers to ESPC. Na zdroví.
Yeah.